Hello there, Dr. Sheep here. Welcome back to another TGIF Talks, episode 77. I'm your host, Dr. Sheep, joined by my co-host, Anonymous Phil.
Hi.
Roll the intro.
Wouldn't you like to get away?
It's
Friday.
We're not that big. We'll get to that, though. These podcasts are broken down into 4 parts. First, we have how our weeks have been, followed by the news. Today, we're talking about fusion. And then followed by your comments, which we'll all be talking about the future of the channel, because there's lots to talk about. In today's 4th segment, I think we'll just recap our last adventure.
Yeah.
To the middle of frickin' nowhere. So, I have lots of stuff to talk about. Lots of stuff has happened in the past week. But why don't you go ahead and tell me how uninteresting your week was. Because your weeks never seem to be interesting.
Pretty much sums it up.
Did you find it? You're still looking for jobs?
Yeah. Actually, it got me...
We're 1 minute in.
Your brother got me in contact with a friend that he knows that works at LES.
Oh, okay.
And so...
When did you see him?
At the party that you were supposed to attend.
Well, he did go.
I texted you that he went.
Oh. So he still managed to make it to his movie with his friend.
Yeah.
Friend.
Oh,
there's stuff to talk about. There's all kinds of stuff to talk about.
Yeah. So he showed up. Had a good conversation, and we're still trying to work it out. I tried to send in an application today and realized their site was down. So I called them, and they were like, "Oh yeah, it's when you you type in les.com, click on careers." I said I did that, and they said next thing you know, I click on the application page, and he said, "Oh, you are right. It doesn't load." They hadn't realized until I called that their site was down.
Oh, gotta love it. They're like, have you been to their actual place?
No.
Here on 27th Street? It's like a government agency. You walk in there, they got glass this freaking thing. It's just this boring white room with a map of I think Lincoln and I was standing in line with this guy who was talking to the person at the desk. I'm just like, well, this is fun.
Why were you there?
Oh, I had to bring my social security card in because I don't exist.
What?
Well, that's a good thing.
You don't exist?
Right, because that means nobody's ever used my social security number for anything. So when all these places look up my social security number, they're like, what? This person doesn't exist. So then they have to confirm that I have a social security number. Which is why Robinhood had such a pain, had to have my social security card.
Why did you go to LES for all that?
Because they wanted to see my social security card. They need a copy of it.
For you living here?
Yeah. So I could turn on my power. And they need to prove that I'm an actual person. I didn't steal this person's social security number.
You have to take the little quiz to make sure you're not a robot?
No. I bleed, I itch, I have rashes, I am a human being.
Can you identify the numbers of a road sign, of a poorly taken picture of a road sign?
Actually, Google's were these little drawn pictures, and it's identify the parrot. I'm like, I think that looks like a parrot. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It just looks like a bird, but whatever. I don't see any other birds here, so that must be it.
I said identify the number. They all look like elephants to me.
This one was just because my computer updated, and every time it freaking updates, oh no, sorry, it was the laptop. Yeah. I was logging my laptop so I could apply for jobs, and it logged me out of everything, so I had to re-log into things, and that caused all kinds of problems, and oh my god, it was a pain. Long story short,
you failed the quiz.
I passed it because there was the only bird on there. But I wouldn't have called it a parrot. I would have called it some sort of bird. But whatever.
A parrot?
Parrot.
Oh, a parrot. I thought you said a pear.
No, it's supposed to be identify the parrot. And I'm like, that looks like just a bird, but I don't see any other birds, so that must be the parrot. It doesn't look like a parrot.
No, I think it was funny. Enough. It was funny the other way. You're supposed to identify the pair, but they all look like birds.
That is funny.
They all look like birds.
Anyway,
pair are you?
okay, I guess you do have something interesting to talk about. How was the family gathering Sunday?
Oh, there was water skiing in Bowdoin.
So
I didn't do any of
you
that
told-
because I didn't bring swim trunks.
Nobody told you.
Yeah, 90% of the other people didn't do it either. Todd remembered, or knew about it, or at least
Our uncle. Our car guy.
our uncle, the car guy, he knew. Well, at least maybe it wasn't in shorts. I don't remember.
Maybe he just didn't care.
But he was water skiing in Tubin.
Well, he does let go sometimes.
Yeah.
Or actually, he's letting go more often. But anyways, did they talk about me?
Yeah, they were like, why is Doc not here?
Oh my God, you're horrible today. And what did... I'm assuming your mom covered for me, because she texted me.
No, she didn't realize that you weren't going to be there.
She texted me that morning, hey, are you going to come to our house? I'm like, no, I'm going to see a movie.
And she was like, why is this cup?
This first 6 minutes is going to kill me. But go on. Why is Doc not there?
Well, yeah, and I told her about the movie. About how you went to go see a movie.
Did you tell her I just went to see a movie, or you're like, he's going with a friend?
Yeah, I went with a friend. Oh, what kind of friend?
Oh, dear. Did they all ask what kind of friend?
The pickle lady.
Well, yes, I know the pickle lady. We'll just call her Mrs. Wages.
Mrs. Wages?
Yes. Mrs. Wages.
Miss Pickle.
No. No, that defeats the purpose. Miss Wages.
Miss Wages.
I was with Miss Wages, but so that's what you told them?
Yeah.
And they didn't ask anything else?
They were like, is this like a friend thing or a close friend thing? I said, I think it's just a friend thing.
Good. Otherwise, I'll be interrogated. However, okay, so there's
your brother.
I have so many stories. Okay, we'll start with the big one. So I'm on the way back from the movie, right? We're going to my car to get the canvas because she's making me a painting for above my fireplace.
Mm-hmm. She's an artist?
Yes. So anyways, we're going to my truck to get the edit, and here's my brother walking with his date to the movies.
What is the gender of this date?
Oh, she's female.
Okay.
She was black, is black, and she was wearing a quite short skirt. And Miss Wages was just like, oh, so he's got a girlfriend. I'm like, apparently. And she's like, you didn't know? I'm like, I don't talk to him. You don't talk to your brother? I'm like, no, we don't have that kind of relationship.
And you had this conversation all within a 6-foot radius of him?
No, this was after we walked past.
Oh, do you say hello and who's
I was looking at, because
who are you?
No, so we had our masks on. He didn't, but it is kind of dark. But you know how you're always just like, because like, oh, I can't hear you, so you take your mask off, that kind of thing. Yeah. Like, oh, I can't see you, so let me take my mask off. But I was just like, said my brother's name, and he's like, oh, hey.
I think I know you from somewhere.
And he's like, oh, hey. And he said my name, and I'm like, are you going to see Shang-Chi? And he's just like, no, we're going to see a different movie. And then that was the extent of the conversation, and then me and Miss Wages.
But you never asked, like, who's this?
No, we just kept walking because Miss Wage had to get back to her apartment so she could finish homework because she's still in college.
And so you haven't texted him, like, so who is you?
I don't care.
But you are interested, right?
Well, if it continues any further, we'll find out at Thanksgiving. If it doesn't continue further, this is the pointless conversation.
But Miss Wages had a painting to get back to.
No, she had actual homework to get to.
Oh, the Canvas online thing.
No, yes.
She had to get back
Either way, she had to get back to a canvas.
I didn't know if this was the painting or the online thing.
No, it's online. No. That's why she had to get back to her apartment so she could do that.
She has school.
Yes. She was originally going to walk back to her apartment.
She's a senior?
Yes. We got to my truck and she's like going to reach for the door. I'm like, oh, you want in? She's like, yeah, it's a bit too big to carry back to my house. I'm like, fair enough. So I drove her to her apartment. Like, she's only like a few blocks away, but she's like,
she don't want to walk?
Not with a 30 by 40 paint canvas. It's a big canvas. I'm getting some sort of Starry Night-esque thing.
Have her paint Pablo Picasso's Wait, it was no Van Gogh.
Well, I didn't want Van Gogh Starry Night. I just wanted her own whatever she wants to paint. She's like, "Well, do you want abstract or do you want like based off those pictures you sent me?" And I'm like, "Do whatever, and I'll pay for whatever. So just do." So who knows? And 2 months I could get a bill for $500 and I'll be no wiser. And she's like, "Oh, but what? Oh, how much do I owe for the movie?" I'm like, "Just take it off the painting." She's like, "Oh, that's a good idea." And I'm like, actually, that's happened a few times where people are just like, "Oh, so how much do I owe for this thing?" I'm like, "Take it off what I already owe you." And they're like, "Oh, yeah, that's a smart idea." I'm like, why does nobody think of that?
And charge extra for labor.
No. Actually, you were a good example of that. Where it's just like, "Oh, I owe you this amount of money. Why don't you just add it on to what you already owe me?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's a good idea." The laptop and then the hotel.
True. Well, yeah, you didn't want 2 separate checks.
Yeah, well, I got 2 separate checks anyways because I remember you got to the apartment and I'm like, "Why didn't you do this?" And you're like, "Oh, that would have been a better idea."
Well, no, because that would have involved my brother paying me back for the half I would have owed you. Because your plan was to have me pay for him and me, both of our parts, for the hotel, and then he pays me back.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? He already owes you money anyways.
Yeah, but he paid it back already. I didn't want to have to. I didn't know how long I was going to go in debt before he finally paid me back. This way, it was a much lower amount. He did pay me back right away. But I did not. But your idea was to have you be out of debt like that. You get
no, I didn't have anything to pay. You people owed me money still.
Yeah, but you wanted me to cover his costs as well.
True.
That was the problem.
Even though my math was much simpler. Divide what you paid by 2, and then see what I took, subtract that from there,
no, just
take that last quantity, divide by 3, and then each one of you owe me that quantity.
Either that or just divide all the quantities by 3, and that's how much each person owes the person. Your amount, divide by 3, that's how much my brother and I owe you.
Fair enough. Anyways, so yeah, that was Sunday. Shang-Chi was pretty good. Shang-Chi was pretty good.
Is that how you say it?
As close as I can get. Because
they say it probably a million times in the movie.
No, they don't.
What?
They do make an emphasis because he's like, well, it's just like, you went from Shang to Sean, and you thought you would hide from your father like that? And it's like, well. Shang. It's not chi. It's like, it's not ji either. It's kind of like a mixture between the two.
Chi.
Yeah, something like that. Kind of like, I couldn't say it. But it is Shang. Because it's Sean, but like an ong. So Shang. Yeah. We're white. Okay, what do you want us to do?
Learn how to speak.
Apparently. Anyways, so yeah, movie was good. Surprisingly, there were some things. It was kind of like a 1970s. The action was very 1970s karate movie esque, but it was good. I don't know if it gets the 90% that it was getting on Rotten Tomatoes. Good, but whatever. How can I complain? It was good. And then we got there, and it's like, I thought Spider-Man was the next Marvel's movie. No, it's the Eternals. And the trailer ends, and I turn to her, I'm like, so what are you doing in November? She's like, I don't know. I'm like, she's like, call me in November. I'm like, fair enough.
Oh, and I'm starting to fix my sleep schedule. So usually my sleep schedule is, go to bed at 2 or 3, wake up around 11.
I have to. From that trip, I've been so screwed up. I have to. I go to work. I take a nap. I'm going to bed at 10:30.
Yeah.
Getting up at 6:30, and I'm still. And then I take an hour nap at work, and I'm still tired. I'm still catching up from that weekend.
No, but my sleep schedule is so messed up. Usually, I've been going to bed at 2, 3 in the morning, waking up at 11. Now,
wow, I missed that life.
Yesterday, I was so tired. Well, mostly because I had to wake up at 6 a.m. to go to work. I had a morning shift from 6 to 11.
Welcome to my life.
I had to go to work from 6 to 11, and then that's when I went to the party. But I decided to go to bed at midnight. Woke up at 8 a.m. today without an alarm. Literally, it was 8:03. I looked up, and I was like, I actually feel good. I don't feel tired. I just kind of laid in bed for another 10 minutes. And I was like, this is boring. Let's start our day. Let's get this day started. And so I did.
So anyways, yeah.
And then I went home to do laundry. And then came here.
You still do your laundry at your parents'.
Well, I choose to because it's free. Well, I guess I pay for gas. Because, I mean, we do have a central laundry facility, but it takes quarters. And so...
You don't want to pay for that.
No. I figured I'll do that in the winter when
I pay $40 a month.
See, I figure I'll...
That's $40 a month right there. It's cheaper to go use the quarters.
Much rather have them just add the extra $5 or whatever it would be a month to my rent and just say laundry's free.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, if you just charged me an extra $5-10 a month, because I'm only going to do laundry, once a week or whatever, so just charge me that amount and just make laundry free. That way, it doesn't feel like it hurts as much.
People would abuse the laundry then. People would have their friends coming here and doing laundry.
That would be true.
Because they don't have to pay for the power to run the dryer. They don't have to pay for the water to run the washer. So,
fair
enough. The only thing they got to pay for is detergent. Because
you put quarters in, and it's like, literally just take the amount I would pay in a month, add on a little extra or whatever, or would upcharge, so it feels like you're making some money. And then next thing you know, to me, it feels like laundry's free.
If I had more work clothes, I'd literally be paying $10 a wash.
Yeah. If
I had more work clothes. Sadly, I don't have that many work clothes, so I do laundry once to twice a week. So it's $5 to $10 per wash.
Yeah.
Per month. But that's
yeah. But
I don't have to trust that those machines are going to be working all the time. I don't have to sit there and watch it or some bull crap.
Yeah.
I can hear it working right there.
But I figure when it gets colder in the winter and I don't want to drive on the country roads or anything, and I just don't want to lug all my laundry outside in the cold, I'm going to start doing it in the winter.
You could come here.
Oh, you could,
I don't really care. I got to get my money's worth.
I'll help you get your money's worth.
Yeah. And it'll raise my power bill, but whatever. I don't use gas.
Next thing you know, I'll bring my bed over and start moving in.
No. Where would you put your bed?
The bottom bunk.
Oh, just get rid of the couch?
Yeah.
Screw the couch.
Bunk bed. Queen bunk beds.
No, you have a full.
What?
You have a full, remember?
No, it is a queen.
I thought you bought a full.
No, well, I was going to buy a full.
But I convinced you.
No, the queen was cheaper because of a tiny little water stain.
Oh. Where the hell did you buy this thing?
Ernie's.
How much did you pay?
$400.
Okay. How much? It's about what I paid a bit more, but
because on average is like $700 to $800 for a queen.
Was that with box spring?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, that's about what it is at Menards.
800.
Well, if you go better, because obviously you can go cheaper. There are cheaper options.
Yeah.
There's 3 tiers, and then there's 3 tiers within the tiers.
Mm-hmm.
I went literally the middle of the 9 options.
Yeah.
Because the best of the best is the most firm, and it's pretty sure it's foam.
Yeah.
And then the next 2 tiers are both springs, or at least maybe the middle tier can either go either or.
Yeah.
Spring or foam. I don't remember, so maybe there's 12.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was on average 800 plus box spring. This is 300 or 400 plus box spring, and actually no, we had a box spring from the old queen.
The one that's destroyed.
Yeah.
And the destroyed.
We used that one.
And the destroyed mattress that smells like cat.
Well, the mattress we tossed.
Thank God.
But we still.
I remember I went to sleep.
But I'm using the box spring, and I think we bought
I remember didn't they sleep on that for a night? That smelled like
yeah, and then and then in the morning you're like, that mattress smells like piss.
I smell like piss now too. Get rid of it. Your mom's like, oh, it does. You're like, oh, it does.
Yeah.
You know how your mom is.
Yeah, they trashed that.
Thank God.
We still have but the box spring is what I use, and then I think we bought a little stand for it. But it was like a tiny little water stain, and it was like they dropped the price like in half.
Because most people aren't poor when buying it.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say most people. Most people are poor, but they prefer to have nice things. That's why they're poor.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. Kyle can explain it to you someday.
Poor people want nice things so they fit in.
So they stay poor. That's why they're poor. He will say it's social class things, blah, 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 blah. It's basically they don't know how to manage money because they've never had money, so when they get money... That's why. That's also why you have large amounts of credit cards.
So what if you are poor but live like you're in poverty? So you live a very frugal life.
Then you live like that. You're doing what normal people should. Then you do what most but people. They're living like a billionaire.
Yeah. Next thing you know, you retire at 70 like a billionaire and blow all your money so your grandkids get nothing.
Anyways, all right.
And then you teach them how to live.
Stories, because there's
stories.
There's more.
Oh yeah, you have more stories.
So yes. So Thursday I went to that job interview thing, whatever.
Oh yeah, that your dad hooked you up with.
Yeah, so I go there, where we just chit chat for a half hour.
It's an interview.
I guess
you're all dressed up like a shoot and tell.
No.
What?
I was just wearing my work clothes. I came right after work.
Oh.
Which is funny about what's going on tomorrow. Anyways, I get there and he's just like, well, I'll let you know in 9 to 15 days because he's doing this. He's changing how he's doing his transactions.
Mm-hmm.
And once that change happens, he needs somebody there to change all of the accounts over to this new system. Basically, transfer the accounts that are still open, close any accounts that aren't being used anymore, and then, present him with the document. He calls the client, or maybe I call the client. I don't know. He didn't say. And they sign the paper. And he's like, you can do that at home. However, I kind of need you here because every so often I need you to run the town, make a payment, that kind of stuff. And so he's like, you could probably do it from home, but I'd much rather prefer you have it here. I'm like, I'll be here until like the winter or whatever. It was like by then I'm going to start buying up other guys because he's exploding with his business. No. He's just like, yeah, so once we finish this merger and all these documents are done, the minute that's done, there's this guy on Holdridge Street, I'm buying him out. And I'm like, oh, that'd be a nice place to work. 70th and Holdridge, I'd work there. And then he's like, there's a bunch of other places around here. He's buying them out because they're all retiring. And so he's just going to absorb their clients.
I see. And he does what?
It's ag brokerage.
Oh,
so
okay.
he actually does trade stocks. I was looking at his computer. He just had the S&P open, and he trades corn and soybean futures.
Trades corn.
Pretty much.
Bitcoin.
That's it. No, that is a crypto.
Bitcoin.
Instead of mining, you grow. Oh, there could be some interesting. Anyways, so yeah, he's like, I'll give you a call. I'm like, all right. And then, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I'm probably gonna have to dust off my resume. He's like, you might want to, just because it's not.
So it's not a full-time gig.
Actually, it's not. It's 35 hours.
And it's not a reliable
No, it's gonna be reliable. It'll be.
But why do you need to dust off the resume?
Because it's not. It's an hour drive. It's 50 miles.
So he's not sure if you want to commit to that.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. So it is technically part time. It's 35 hours. But I'll get
pay
40.
Better.
It could. He's like, I'll pay anywhere between 16 and 14. And I'm like, can I take 16? I didn't say anything because obviously he's not like you get the job. But anyways, so I was like, I'll have to dust off the resume. So flash forward to the next day. I'm at work. There's about an hour left. I'm on a water tank and I'm on top of one of the tires.
Your boss is like, you still want to work here?
Well, he is close. He's looking at a sprayer, and I'm standing on top of a tire that's about an inch off the ground, so it could spin if it wanted to. And I take the lid off the water tank. I'm kind of joking around, talking to one of the guys, and it spins. Counterclockwise, my foot goes between the two tires, hits the ground. I fall backwards, flat on my back, just whap.
Today?
This was Friday. Just whap. I thought I hit my head. I didn't. But I was just like, oh, what? I literally, as I was flying, I went, off! I said the F word, like, very loudly. He's like, the guy who's helping me, he's like, you fall? And I'm like, yeah. Like, I've fallen before, but I've never fallen like that. That was a rough fall. My head feels it. I don't think I hit my head. I didn't hit my head because it doesn't hurt, but I kind of have a headache. And I did have a headache for the rest of the day, and I was light sensitive. I didn't tell my boss. I'm like, yeah, it's no big deal. I wake up Saturday morning, I had a terrible headache. And I'm like, oh no, do I have a concussion?
Yeah.
So I
go to the doctor.
I go to the urgent care because I don't have a doctor. There's an urgent care just across the block.
Yeah.
I go there. As I'm waiting, 2 damn hours. I was the second person there, but I got bumped to third in line because the concussion protocols, there's 2 checkups.
Mm-hmm.
There's the first checkup where they're like, is your brain bleeding? I'm like, I woke up this morning. What do you think? She's like, you don't need an MRI. We'll finish your process. Okay, we'll finish your process.
Is your brain bleeding?
Pretty much.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
I woke up this morning and blood was running out of my ears.
They tell me, they explain, they ask me what happens. I explain to them, and they're like, well, you doesn't seem like you need an MRI. I'm like, I didn't think so. I woke up this morning, so obviously my brain isn't bleeding. Well, that is true. That is a good thing. She's like, well, we'll go do this thing. Well, while I'm waiting for them to get me finished process so I can go see the doctor, another lady, this other person walks in. I don't know what her problem was, but she got the doctor in front of me. She got to the doctor before I could.
And she was in there for 2 hours?
I don't know, but I sat on one of those uncomfortable chairs for 2 hours. Only one other person walked in because actually quite a few people came to the door, but immediately turned away because they're there for COVID.
Oh.
And they see the sign that says, if you have these symptoms, please call the number and go to your car.
Oh, they had COVID.
They probably had COVID. So I'm sitting there just like, I remember when one lady started walking in and she looked like she was about to die. I'm like, oh, frick.
Am I in the right place?
I like tightened my mask up. Because I was sitting next to the door and I'm sitting on kind of like a bench and I scooch over all the way away from the door. She walks in with like a box. She's like, I don't have a cell phone, so I can't call for the COVID thing. And they're like, we'll send somebody out to your car. I'm like, I'll be out in your car in a minute. Let me just finish this phone call. I'm like, oh my God.
You got people dying outside.
As I was leaving, there were like a line of people that were looking at the sign going, oh no, and calling. And like the entire time I'm there, the phone is just ringing constantly.
How many people have COVID?
A lot. They're all there to get tested. And to like check to see if they have COVID. She's like, yes, we're very busy today. And I'm like, I see my doctor. I'm like, you must be glad to see somebody who has something that's not COVID. She's like, yes, thank you. But anyways, I get in there. I tell the doctor what happened. And she's just like, yeah, you don't have a concussion. Your only symptom is a headache. But it seems that could definitely be from your neck muscles being tightened because you didn't hit your head. And your neck muscles are tight, and they are sore, and your back muscles, they were sore after leaving there, but I sat on an uncomfortable bench for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Anyways, I got there at 8. I left at 10. God damn it. Whatever. Anyways, I swear to God. She's just like, it's from your neck muscles. And I'm like, and I thought to myself on the way back to home, I was like, that's interesting how all your muscles are connected like that. And how they all can connect that. How a headache can be connected to your neck and back muscles being tense. She's just like, so yeah, just put ice for 20 minutes, then heat for 20 minutes, and just regulate between ibuprofen and Tylenol, and you'll be good to go. Just take it easy the next 2 days. I'm like, so I can go to the movie Sunday? You can go to the movie Sunday. Just take it easy. And I'm like, oh, good. I called my grandma back because I called her that morning because I'm like, Grandma, I might have a concussion.
I'm gonna die.
I can't come in.
My time is up.
I felt like I was gonna die. I took ibuprofen, laid there for an hour until 8 o'clock rolled around, so I could go to the urgent care. And yeah. So anyways, while I was sitting there for 2 hours, I did call my boss. And he's just like, I'll fill all the paperwork. You can imagine on a Saturday morning, you're just like, why didn't you do this Friday when you were at work? Whatever. Anyways, so yeah, we filled out the paperwork today. I have to go back to the urgent care tomorrow to get the paperwork filled out. But I called them. And they're like, well, you can drop, well, they're open till 8 p.m., so I could have done it after work today, and then I wouldn't miss any work tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I had already asked if I could come in late tomorrow, and he was like, sure, whatever. So I'm like, why would I pass up that opportunity? So I call the urgent care, and they're like, well, can I turn it off? Can I turn it in before 8? And they're like, well, the family medicine doctor is here at 7:30, so you could stop in and give it to them, and then they can give it to us, and we'll fill out the paperwork, and then we'll get it back, and then we'll call and give it back to you. Mm-hmm. I'm like, perfect, because I was going to ask them if they had room for another patient so I can get a doctor. Because my lisinopril, I called Hy-Vee today, and I can't get it filled.
How'd you get it filled before?
I went back to the doctor because I was having... I don't remember what my problem was.
Oh, so now you're trying to get a doctor now.
Yes! So I don't freaking have a stroke out and die, or have a brain aneurysm from high blood pressure that they claim I have. But you know what? These blood pressure... I told you about the blood pressure cuffs, right? And how, like, the one doctor... When I was at the clinic thing for...
Yeah.
And how, like, the small one's usually lower than the big one.
Yeah.
And then it was vice versa on me. Like, well, that's never happened before. When I went to urgent care, they're like, oh, is it... Oh, like, oh, okay, we'll try the bigger one and see if it's a bit lower. And I'm like, the frick did the other doctors know? I knew the other doctor was freaking... He was a creepy old man. And
wait, the cuff size?
Yes.
I guess I never paid attention.
Well... Because you're small. They always give you a small one. I'm in between sizes, and my blood pressure is, big on the line between, yeah, you have a problem, and no, you're fine.
Yeah.
So, like, they need to get, like, a precise measurement on me to figure out if I actually have high blood pressure that day or not. I did have it that day. I wasn't even nervous, so I literally just genuinely had high blood pressure.
Yeah.
Plus, I was so excited. Plus, I was just, nervous. I was, I guess, a little nervous, like, I don't want to have a concussion.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, yeah, so no, I don't have a concussion. I do get some small headaches here and there, just for the neck thing, so we're all good. Anyways, so Saturday I laid in bed all day and watched Alf. Sunday I was like, I better get some work done. So I did. I filmed I filmed the Minecraft Let's Play. I went and bought the canvas. I ran to Walmart, bought some other stuff. Got some command hooks that I used for my shelf over there.
Yep.
And then I oh no, it's the biggest important part. Right. And I was like, well, better apply for jobs. Everybody's like, oh, there's jobs everywhere. There are not jobs everywhere. I don't know. Whenever I went to the banking website, I typed in Lincoln for all these places, and they had nothing. Nothing. And I'm like, what do you mean there's jobs?
Everyone's hiring. In my field?
In my field? No! Anyways, so UBT wasn't hiring. I went to Pinnacle. Pinnacle was hiring. I don't remember what I applied for. I'll have to look. Well, they called me this morning. She's like, you want to come in for... Yes.
Yeah?
She's like, want to come in for an interview? And I'm like, how's tomorrow morning? I got the morning off to go drop off...
Tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow morning. She's like, I have an appointment in the morning. Let me see if I can change it. She calls me back. She's like, yeah, I can get it changed. So can you be in 8:15? I'm like, I certainly can. So I'm like, also, I was going to wear my full suit, but I'm going to go to work right afterwards. Can I just wear my work clothing? She's like, that's fine. It's not... Just thanks for explaining. Otherwise, it would have been really interesting. And you don't have to wear a full suit to these things. I'm like, it's just what I do. But thank you. I will be in a t-shirt and work pants and boots. She's like, fair enough. This will be the most casual freaking what? That's my uniform. I mean, it does say Farmers Cooperative on the t-shirt.
Yeah.
But that's my uniform, and that's what I'll be wearing to the interview tomorrow morning.
Oh my gosh.
So my plan tomorrow morning is I'm going to go to the urgent care, drop off the paperwork, see if they have a doctor open.
Yeah.
And if they do say yes, I'd be like, great, I'll stop by after work tonight. They're probably closed at 5, knowing the stupid family doctors. So I'll have to like call them back again or something. I'll just call them at work and then set up a doctor if they do say yes. But anyways, and then after I drop off the paperwork, immediately head to South 70th Street and go for my interview. They're like South
70th.
South 70th and A.
Bit of a drive.
Compared to an hour for this other job I could get?
I suppose.
But I wasn't expecting the call back at all, so I was like, oh, okay.
You must be desperate.
I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow. So I'm like, oh, this is cool. And the fact that they were just like able to, she was just like moved her appointment so I could go and do this interview. Because she's like, see, what are you doing? I'm like, well, when you work at 8 to 5, it's kind of hard to go in for interviews. You have to either like leave early one day at work or come in late. She's like, yeah, it is, you know, I don't blame you. And we were talking about doing one late one. She's like, well, you are available tomorrow, right? I'm like, well, yeah, I can come in late. I told him I was going to. She's like, let me, move this thing around. Well, let me see if I can move this appointment, and I'll call you back. Calls me back. Yeah, I can move this appointment. Anyways, so yeah. Yeah, pretty exciting.
And so you're going to go to this interview and then immediately go to work and be like, so how was your morning? Oh, just fine.
Perfectly fine. The boss might not even be there. If I get there after 9, he won't even be there, so.
Your buddy's like,
actually, I will probably get there after 9. Or
technically just went to a job interview today.
Don't
tell the boss I'm leaving.
He won't be there because it's a 20... So if it's at 8:15, let's say it takes a half hour. It's 20 minutes to get back to my apartment from there, and then it's 18 minutes from my apartment to my job. Mm-hmm. So yeah, he won't be there. My boss won't even be there. So problem solved. I wonder if taking 70th all the way to 77. Taking 77 to Waverly, and then taking Waverly... Oh, you can't take Waverly to Raymond. Never mind.
You can't?
Well, I was going to take Waverly to 14th, take 14th to Raymond, take Raymond Road all the way to 79 to my job. But you can't do that. There's that mile, right?
There's that mile.
That one damn mile by your place.
You have to go 3 miles to go 1 mile.
I know.
I love it. Because there was a road grade. So today, when I was going home to do laundry, I would just sit on First Street, because I took Highway 34, and I just stay on First Street, the graveled road, because I couldn't go on 14th, and I took it out. Next thing you know, I see a road grader, and I'm like, yep, working up at this mile. I see him over the hill. I'm like, yep. So now I have to go 3 miles to go 1 mile.
Yep.
Because I could not, it was on Bluff. So I went a mile, and then that mile was where it would be closed. So I literally could not go another mile. I had to turn.
It's literally on the worst mile possible.
Yeah.
Because there's just no way to get around it. You have to go through First Street. And you think, oh, I can just take 14th. Well, no, the roads won't go through all the way on 14th in places. It's just...
Go 3 miles.
That is the most inconvenient mile that won't be finished till probably next year. Yeah, we're going to be so used to taking...
Just so you know, I don't know what they're doing, but I did see a bunch of culvers laying on the side of the road at 27th and Waverly, Northwest 27th. So I'm wondering if that graveled road...
that's 27th and Waverly. Nobody goes on that. I don't go on that road.
But that's the road sometimes... Because you either take First or I take 27th.
I don't take 27th. I never take 27th. 27th is dangerous.
So you always take First?
Yes.
Because, see, 27th is wider, though.
Right. I thought they were going to pave it at one point.
I think they were. But, see, it's nice and wide, like they were going to pave it.
But they have all the new rock on there. So it's super dangerous because it's big and clumpy.
Yeah.
So
but I saw a bunch of culvers on the side of the road over there.
They're redoing the culvers again?
I'm wondering if they're going to do culvers over here. Why are all these culvers here?
It's with a T, culvert.
Culverts?
Culverts.
Culverts?
Yeah, with a T.
Well, is it the T silent for me?
So it's like the restaurant.
Yeah. They opened an ice cream shop over there.
Interesting. Ooh, interesting. I'll go there for
Culverts.
fish. That's a very... There's one just down the road. Why? Anyways, that was
it's so
40
unnatural,
minutes.
though. Culverts. You have to
Culvert.
force. You have to force the T.
I don't know.
It's more natural.
Maybe
It
it
rolls
doesn't
up.
have I don't know.
Type it in Google.
We have to go to the next segment. Oh my god.
Sure, culverts for sale.
It is with a T.
Yeah.
So is it? But is it pronounced with a T?
You scroll up. Can you click on pronunciation?
Wiki might have it. No, they don't. That's surprising. Oh, talk.
Talk.
Isn't there a little thing that says? Oh, it's removed. Fantastic.
Removed. Go back. Type in pronunciation.
How to say culvert.
Oh,
Culverts.
culverts.
It is with a T.
Yeah.
But it's weird. You
Culverts. You have to force the T though. It feels unnatural.
that's because you're putting parenthesis on this. You're supposed to put parenthesis on coal.
Culvert.
Interesting.
Culvert.
I remember when they try to teach us that in English that different words have different. Like you're supposed to put the emphasis here. I'm like, who thinks that much about what they're saying? They only brought it up once, so it clearly wasn't very important.
Culverts.
I mean, in Spanish it is, but here it's
Yeah.
not.